Where does yesterday's future, which is already here, meet today's
Recording in
future, which
progress.
is about to happen, and tomorrow's future, which could be just minutes away? Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where host Bonnie D. Graham asks savvy futurists for their predictions about the tech-driven trends that are shaping our future right now. Here's your host, who will take us into the future of now, Bonnie D. Graham.
Thank you to the voice of Ryan Treasure. Bonnie D in the house. Happy to be here. My goodness, we are streaming on Guest. Just wave hello to LinkedIn. Wave hello twice. Bob, twice. To Facebook. Wave hello to Voice America Media Business Channel. And wave hello to, I don't know, LinkedIn. We're all over the place. There we are. I'm Bonnie D. Happy to be here. And before I start, I have to do a quick shout out to a gentleman I've never met whose name is Sean Naughton, who was kind enough and smart enough and savvy enough to put together this fabulous panel I'm going to tell you about in just a minute. So guests, I just want you to look up and wave when I call your name. We've got a long intro and I hope you like it. So here we go. Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where research and innovation converge to show us how. With Bonnie D on her Scarlett Mic leading the exchange, three pioneers in healthcare share their visions of change. Professor Mark Kendall, wave hello. Jeff Wong, wave hello. Dr. Robert Langer, Bob as well. Explore exciting health devices where new insights dwell. From data to diagnostics, advancing care in new ways. The future of health wearables and AI defines a next phase. Now I have a gift for each of you and I hope you enjoy it. Your first, Mark. From rockets to remedies, Professor Mark Kendall's quest took flight, transforming aerodynamics into healthcare's light. He's an engineer, inventor, a visionary mind whose breakthroughs in medicine redefined humankind. A 2-minute Oxford chat set his course anew. From gene guns to nanopatch, innovation grew. Through Vaxis, he proved that bold dreams can scale. From concept to clinic, success proved his tale. Now his Wear Optimo leads with precision and care. Micro wearable sensors for health everywhere. A Rolex laureate, global thought leader renowned, Professor Kendall's pursuit is where science and impact are bound. Mark?
Hi, thank you. That was amazing.
Have you ever been introduced that way before?
No.
Okay, you tell Australia there. Bob, I need you to look up. We're talking about you in a second here. Jeff, I know he's busy. Jeff is next. From Silicon Valley Spark to EY's global stage, Jeff Wong has led innovation through every age. AI, blockchain, Web3, quantum are his domain, advancing what's possible across every terrain. At EY, Jeff built labs where the future took form, turning bold exploration to yield a new norm. Now advisor, board member, and Stanford guide, he shapes next-gen leaders with insight and pride. Economics to engineering, 3 Stanford degrees. Jeff's rigor and vision flow with practiced ease. Inspired by family, by enterprise and drive, Jeff proves how innovation keeps progress alive. Jeff?
Good morning, Bonnie. What a great introduction. I've also never been introduced in poems, so I'm incredibly impressed.
I'm incredibly glad. And Bob, it's your turn. There, he's smiling. Okay, from Albany roots to MIT's esteemed domain, Dr. Robert Langer, I have to start formal, has reshaped medicine's terrain. A chemical engineer with vision profound, where science and humanity are perfectly bound. Rejecting the oil path for purpose instead, Bob pioneered drug delivery where few others have tread. From tissue design to Moderna's acclaim, his work has transformed lives and redefined fame. Mentor to thousands with patients that soar and patents that soar. Innovation and impact fuel his vast laboratory's core. Honored by nations, Bob's brilliance long known. Dr. Langer stands where science and hope are grown. Bob?
Wow, I don't know what to say. That's fantastic.
I'm glad. I'll finish up now. So buckle in, dear audience. We've only just begun as AI meets healthcare with wisdom, speed, and we're going to have a little fun. With Bonnie D and her 3 futurists, the journey is ours to drive. Together, let's explore the roads where tomorrow comes alive. So guess, what do you think? You want to give me a little applause there? You happy with it? I didn't think
Well
any of you
done.
thank you. I didn't think any of you had ever been introduced quite that way, and I'm very glad. I do this. I call it my gift for my guest. Jeff, what do you think?
I think that's fantastic.
I'm
It's
glad.
just so much fun.
I'm glad. We are allowed to talk serious stuff and have fun. That's my theory. So show's over. Thank you. Go home now. Okay. So let's go on. Yes, I told you I'm the Green Room warm-up comedian, and it doesn't get any better than this. Now I'm going to go to the opening quotes you each sent me. I asked for a fictional quote from a movie or a TV character or a song lyric, and I'm going to read a little bit of background on the quote you sent, and then I'm going to ask you, Mark, you're first. I'm going to ask you to relate it to our very important topic. So Mark is quoting power ballad song by the band Bon Jovi from 1987. The song is Wanted Dead or Alive, written John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora. It was released as the Slippery When Wet album. I have trouble saying that. Third single. It was during a February 2008 encore performance in Detroit that Bon Jovi told the crowd about running into Bob Seger at a Pistons game. As he introduced Wanted Dead or Alive, he said it was inspired by Bob Seger's Turn the Page hit, and he called the song the band's anthem. It peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 13 on the mainstream rock tracks chart. That's a tongue twister. And it was the first glam metal album to have three top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. Okay, I'm going to read the quote now, and Mark, tell us what it has to do with our topic. It's all the same. Only the names change. Okay, Mark, you're up. You're on speaker view now. Talk to me.
So yeah, it's you might find it an ironic quote because it might not sound necessarily that inspirational. It's all the same, only the names change. But that's essentially my view when it comes to big problems. There's always been big problems over the years, over the decades, over the centuries, and great scientists, great engineers, great whatever the label you like. Look at whatever the tools there are available or create tools to solve these particular problems. And as we look at the topic we're talking about today, AI in healthcare, healthcare has been around for a while. AI in different forms hasn't really been around that long, but the problems remain. There's problems in healthcare that have yet to be tackled. So those problems are still the same, but the names are changing. We're calling it AI now. We may have called it machine learning a couple of years ago. But it's still all the same. But so it may not sound like an inspirational title in the topic of the future and revolutions, but I actually quite take a lot of solace in that quote, because in the end, no matter what type of technologies we have, no matter how massive teams may be, in the end, when things get sorted, when things get solved, it's all the same in the sense that it's a group of people, quite often just a select few people, maybe working in bigger teams, tackling that problem. And it's different teams for different problems, but it's all the same, only the names change.
I think that was brilliant, Mark. Very, very well put. Yeah. There's a French phrase, one of my favorites. It's plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose. Anybody familiar with that? The more things change, the more they stay the same. And that's basically the core. Yes, we're people just trying to figure it out. That's the way I put it, right? Yes, thank you. The apps change, the technology name changes, but we're still on the same path to trying to make it better somehow or make it bigger. I don't, depends on what your motivation is. Thank you very much. Great quote, Jeff Wong. I am going to say that you have quoted Ted Lasso, everybody's favorite. And did you know that even though they only planned a 3-season arc, they've renewed it for this year? It's coming back soon.
I'm so excited, Bonnie.
I am too. I am too. It's so wonderful, so inspirational, and so many quotes played by Jason Sudeikis. American sports comedy drama TV series on Apple TV Plus. I have that from 2020 to 2023, and the 4th season is coming soon. And this quote Jeff has picked is from season 1, episode 1, that was called aptly Pilot. It aired on August 14th, 2020. If anybody has been hiding under a rock, I'll tell you Ted Lasso is based on a character played by Sudeikis in promotions for NBC Sports coverage of England's Premier League. And Ted Lasso was known for his relentlessly optimistic and positive personality, compassionate, charismatic. I want to date him. I want to marry him. Surprisingly perceptive, focuses on building relationships, motivating people, kindness, empathy. Oh my goodness. And by the way, for this performance in this season 1, episode 1, Jason won Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series at the 73rd Primetime Emmy Awards. And the episode was nominated for Outstanding Writing for a Comedy Series. Okay, I'm getting to the quote. Here we go. Taking on a challenge is a lot like riding a horse, isn't it? If you're comfortable while you're doing it, you're probably doing it wrong. Great quote. Jeff, talk to me. What does this have to do with our topic?
Well, Bonnie, first of all, I thought Ted Lasso was an appropriate person to quote for this call in particular, because we've got Bob and Mark on this call with us, Bonnie, and I'm like Ted Lasso. So the story goes that Ted Lasso was an American football coach that went over to Europe to coach a soccer team, or a real football team in the correct verbiage. And he was a fish out of water and came at the from a very, very different perspective. And I'm on the phone. We're on the video here, Bonnie, with Bob and Mark, who've literally touched every life on the planet, right, in a positive way. And I'm just coming in from a healthcare perspective. And I'm coming in from the AI perspective, the technology perspective, having grown up here. So I thought Ted was a great person to quote, first of all. And then secondly, we have such an opportunity in front of us to take on really, really big challenges. And that's the thing that we are now capable of with this new onset of artificial intelligence. But I think I'd love to remind people that taking on these big challenges is a really, really hard thing to do. And as much as we love the whole world to go up and to the right, everything's easy. We're growing steadily and well, and everything's fantastic. The fact of the matter is there's bumps along the way, and it's hard, and things don't look right along that pathway. It's rocky. You step on things, you twist your ankle. And so that's sort of what I love about the quote, right? It's if you're going to take on something big, it's going to be uncomfortable, but that's okay. It's okay that it's uncomfortable because you're taking on something big and hard.
That's what we mean by not plateauing, right, Jeff? When you're making that climb up and it's a little steep, maybe you get a little dizzy, maybe you twist that ankle. Oh no, is there a doctor in the house? And it's just, you have to have that, I'm going to use the word, the pain of innovation, of new, of change. People hate change. Why? Because it means there might be some pain involved. Who wants pain? Well, that's the price we pay for moving on, right? Very well put. And I get a couple of Ted Lasso quotes on the show a year, and they're always wonderful. Nobody has used that one in quite a while. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And it's such a lovely show. You just want to say, oh, the whole hour. It's just, I'm so glad. And it's very unusual today to have a network bring back a show that was already capped at 3 or 4 season arcs. It doesn't happen very often. So people must have yelled really loud over the team yelling. Okay, here we go. And so many great characters. Bob is next. Bob has sent us a quote from a song. The song is The Wind Beneath My Wings, aka also called Hero, performed by the wonderful Bette Midler in the soundtrack for the movie Beaches, 1988 film. It was released as a single, the song, in 1989. It was written by Jeff Silber and Larry Henley. It was first recorded by, Mark, you'll like this, an Australian singer, Kamal, in
Wow.
1982 for his C&W Country and Western album. He talked about being the first to record the song when he was on the Australian TV show Spicks and Specks, okay, but said it was not personally released because he said it didn't suit country and Western. So Roger Whittaker then recorded the song, and then Sheena Easton recorded the song, and then Lee Greenwood recorded the song. And after that, Colleen Hewitt and Lou Rawls and Gladys Knight and finally it got to Bette Midler. She did it for the soundtrack to Beaches. It spent 1 week at #1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 singles chart and won Grammys, Record of the Year, Song of the Year in 1990, certified platinum. What can I say? Here's the quote Bob has picked. This is interesting. I'm not going to sing it, but I may cry, Bob. This is very emotional. Did I ever tell you you're my hero? I'm really crying. You're my hero. You're everything, everything I wish I could be. Oh, and I could fly higher than an eagle, for you are the wind beneath my wings, because you are the wind beneath my wings. While I cry, I'm putting you on speaker view, Bob. Please let me go wipe my tears. Tell us what this has to do with our topic, please. Beautiful quote.
Well, it's kind of so to take a step back. I mean, actually, you taught me some things I didn't know. I mean, I remember the Spicks and the Specks by the Bee Gees, which was great. But anyhow, the so a number of years ago, I was asked to do another podcast. This was Desert Island Discs in England, and they ask you to pick your eight songs that mean something to you, and then and sort of why. So I picked that one, and at the end you're supposed to pick maybe the one that has the most meaning. I picked that because I talked about my wife, and my feeling is that, when I look at the things I've done, I'm just incredibly lucky that I have her.
Yeah.
She gives me great advice and a lot of love, has done. I mean, she's actually a PhD in neuroscience to boot from MIT with undergraduate from Harvard. But really, I think, when I look at what I or so many people do, it ends up being a team effort. So I chose that to dedicate it to her.
That is absolutely lovely. And tell me something, The Wind Beneath My Wings, how does that in a way perhaps inspire your very important work, Bob? Is there somebody who is the wind in addition to your wife? Is there something in science, something at MIT, people in your lab who also inspire you? Any thoughts
Well,
there?
absolutely. Every
Yeah.
day, every day, it's like I have the most incredible students and postdocs working with me. Actually, I'm helping Mark. Mark inspires me too. He's invented some amazing things, and
There you go.
and so I work, as you pointed out in my introduction, with different companies that have created medicines that I like to think have changed the world, and that's what that inspires me to try to help people.
I like that. Thank you very much. I had to lead you a little bit, but we got there. Thank you very much, Bob. I want to say thank you to all of you for the great quotes. And let me see if I can get this to play. Here, hold on one second. Why am I not getting this? Go. There we go. Oh, sometimes the sound effects are just so incredibly hard. I just had, hold on, let them finish clapping. We don't want to step on their clap. Thank you very much. Okay, I keep an audience, a chorus on the side just for this specific task. Okay, thank you all for the quotes. Let's go to our predictions now. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to pick one prediction from each of you to start. I'm going to start with Mark, and I'm going to read the prediction. Mark, I'd like you to unpack it, as they say unceremoniously on news shows, but we're unpacking it. Take 2 or 3 minutes, and then Bob and Jeff, I respond to, I want you to wiggle a finger if you have a comment, okay? But I don't respond to the middle finger, just all the nice fingers, all the other ones. So wiggle a finger and I'll see you. But if you don't raise your finger, I might call on you anyway. So we want to make this into a round table for just a couple minutes of comments. Then, Jeff, I'll pick one of your predictions, then one from Bob, and we'll go around. If we have time, we'll do a second and a third. I think we're going to have a lot of fun here. We've got a whole 40 minutes left. Why not? Mark, I'm looking at your prediction number one. I think this is the most important that people are looking for. Mark says AI will enable us to have genuine, personalized medicine, staying healthy, reducing being sick. I think that kind of caps it all there. Mark, why don't you tell us more details, please? Go ahead.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll try and compress this in a couple of minutes, but let's talk about the way medicines traditionally have worked. You have to wait until something goes wrong and then you try to get fixed. And by then, quite often things have got away from you and it's a crisis and you're dealing with the crisis. Now, there's some notable exceptions to that. Vaccines are a great exception to that, and Bob's extremely well placed to talk to that at length, being the co-founder of Moderna. But we really wanted to stay well rather than getting sick. And so that's not a new concept, but the tools that we have and that are coming, and I'm just blown away by AI and the fusion of AI and healthcare, that just opens up so many opportunities. And in our little tiny world, in More Optimum, what we're doing is an example of that, where we're gathering information. The body is telling us information, and we're using that information with the AI sensor, AI enhanced sensor, to determine the state of someone, even though they don't know what it is themselves, even though their own senses, if you could think about the body's own senses are not really telling our brain what's going on. So we're circumventing that and providing fresh insights and information. So I am super excited about that concept of staying well rather than just waiting till you get sick and then having the medicine. And uh, that's not a new concept, as I said before, but we've got some amazing new tools in the shed, especially with this fusion of AI and healthcare. And even in the last 12 months, 2 years, what's been taking place globally and in our case, in our lab, it's just blown my mind that the speed we've freshly been able to tackle these problems.
Mark, do you have a favorite wearable you could tell us about? Anything that's, am I allowed to ask? I
Oh,
don't
well,
have I don't have an NDA with you, so be careful. Okay.
yeah, that's okay. I mean, like some people say, do you have a favorite child? And if you have many, many children, you'd say, oh, I can't answer that. But in the world of wearables, I only have one. So I can talk about that. So that's
Okay,
okay.
then talk about it. Go ahead,
So,
tell us.
so of course, it's our micro wearable. So what we're doing is we're tapping into the body in a unique way. So when I think about today's wearables, like a surface-based one, like a smartwatch, they've been around for a little while, but they're entirely impeded by the skin's barrier function. And the good way of thinking of it is that's good news because the skin does a great job of keeping the bad stuff out and good stuff in. And it uses light in doing that. So, but the great signals can't be picked up that way. Now, Bonnie, no doubt you've dealt with people with continuous glucose monitoring sensors. They've been around for a while, and they're amazing.
Yes.
I bet they don't tell you about the size of their needle.
Talk to me.
No, it's 11 millimeters, so it's essentially half an inch, right?
I'm taking
But
myself off the view here so people can't see me screaming through my eyes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, but I'm not criticizing it. It's the state of the art from a little while ago out there in the market today. But that's the way of getting glucose sensing as one example. But Bonnie, what we're doing is we're going the next step forward. The theme today is the future is now. It's now in our lab. It'll be the future shortly. It'll be out there as products. But we're using micro needles to gain access to signals, so you don't feel anything. And that's really cool. And I'm a pioneer of the field of microneedles. Bob's worked heavily in this space as well. So I've been at it for about 20 years or so with different techs. But what super excites me is that it's not only us gaining these signals, it's now we have the capability to do something with it in an incredible way, in an important way. So we've gone after hydration, monitoring hydration, which is a massive unmet medical need. But Bonnie, if I was talking with you 3 years ago, we'll be pulling out these signals and not knowing what to do with it. But in our company, for the last 3, 4 years, we've been building an AI model. Genuinely, we have a team of about 7 people full-time doing this in a unique way. And that's pulling out these unique insights into your level of hydration. And that's just a keyhole into all manner of things that are coming that is bespoke, high definition, focused AI, as opposed to what I'm calling lazy AI, which is massive machine learning models where you're scraping things from the internet. You don't know how good the data is. It's just from everywhere. We've got curated clinical trial data, which is high caliber, high quality data. And we're working with that with bespoke AI models where it's not a lot of data, but it's awesome data. So anyway, I think you're capped into 3 minutes and I can keep going
No,
forever.
that's fine. That's fine. It's fascinating. Jeff, you raised your finger first. Bob, you're next. So Jeff, go ahead.
No, I think I just wanted to build on what Mark was saying. I think it's a really remarkable moment, right? So we've had health wearable devices and historically, and honestly, they were great, fantastic, transformative for the moment, but relatively simple. And I think Mark hit on a really important point, which is we can gather all this incredible data, and we have been gathering all this incredible data for across all these different devices, but we didn't have the capability to really understand the different relationships between that data. Mark gave a great example of the skin hydration, right? What his device, which I think is behind you, Mark, in your little view, obviously in poster form, not in physical form, can do. But if you think about all the different devices that surround us and what they might be able to tell us, a video camera that can observe our motions and movements and start to tell us different things about that. Mark's wearable that's on the skin that can tell us hydration where they're starting, but all the different things that are happening given all the signals. These were patterns we couldn't figure out what to do with. Like, what did it mean? It was too much data, but with the approaches of today, just sort of the conceptual approach of transformers, the relationship between any two signals, really, we can tell so much more and we can understand the patterns so much better that's what makes right now a really transformative moment for new health tech to come out and tell us all sorts of new things about who we are, our bodies, and our longevity. I think, Mark, is where the where your prediction was.
Thank you. Very interesting. Bob, join us. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think it's great. And I also think, Mark, you mentioned hydration. I wonder if you could expand on that a little bit. How serious a problem is it? How many people could, your system help and things like that?
Oh,
Mm,
absolutely, Bob. It's a massive, massive problem. It turns out that, as one example, Bob, half of Americans listening on this call right now are chronically and mildly dehydrated, just as one example. And you
really?
might be thinking that's not a big deal. I'm okay. I'm surviving. But it's turned out the work of others that published this that it actually has a massive, massive impact on you. It's putting the body into a state of stress, long-term stress. And the impact of that, again, the work of others, is that it's shortening our life expectancy by up to about 4 years. And
Mm,
that's just one example. Hydration is water is a fundamental working fluid for our body, and it turns out that it impacts everything we do and the way we go about things. So I've just talked about a steady state thing of just us getting around in our everyday lives. But if I go to the other limit, which is a really critical thing that's happening fast, which is surgery. Yeah. So around the world, there's 310 million surgeries. And it turns out that about 1 in 5 surgeries, something significantly goes wrong because hydration is poorly managed.
wow.
And I can see your reaction, Bonnie. You're thinking, well, why? How does that happen? Well,
Yeah.
it happens because when you go into surgery, you have all these procedures, all these instructions. You have to turn up nil by mouth, not having fluids, food, etc. And what that means is people turn up, about half the people for surgery turn up in a dehydrated state.
Mm,
And that causes all manner of problems. As just one example, when you go under anesthesia, the process of going under anesthesia, if you're dehydrated, you have apologies to all the clinicians out there. I'm speaking as an engineer, but that's what I am. So you have less blood in your body when you're dehydrated.
mm,
And it turns out that when you go through under anesthesia, you have a drop in blood pressure, you have a drop in heart rate. And if you've got a lot less blood to work with, that causes a lot of problems in the body. And
mm.
so, anyway, the impact of that is a lot more people die in surgeries and many, many complications take place. And Bob, the problem is so big, but it's sort of been a hidden problem until not long ago. There's been a wave of publications in the last few years and what excites us in what we're doing together, the three of us, and also we're Optimo, is that we made a call on this about 6, 7 years ago to get into hydration. So we actually have the solutions ready because if I cut a long story short, the current approaches, Bonnie, are unbelievably rudimentary. We're talking about posters on the wall asking you what color your pee is. That's the state of the art. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll stop there.
Thank you. Very, very interesting. You're scaring the crap out of me. I
They
write a new, if I ever have to go under anesthesia, I write a new will. I won't go in under until I write a will because I don't think I'm going to come out the other side. Anxiety, that's the only issue. But I'm drinking more water. Jeff saw me lift up I have this beautiful red Tahari glass for my show, and I'm drinking
All right.
in a metal straw, and it's very, very, a little bit of ice, filtered water, of course. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go to Jeff. A prediction. I have a fun one from Jeff. He says we will move from physical on-body devices to monitors that surround us. Everybody listen up. Mirrors, bed sheets, alarm clocks, maybe the toilet, TVs, phones that could be enabled with sensors and AI software that detect changes that are happening in our bodies. And I want to tell you, Jeff, my kids talked me into buying a bed last year, and it monitors my sleep. It tells me my heart rate. It tells me how many hours I sleep, how many minutes of restful sleep, how many times I woke up. I check the app once every 2 weeks or so. I know how I slept, but it's telling me, and it's not connected to me in any way. I'm just lying on the damn bed. Very expensive bed. Anyway, Jeff, I want to know more about this. The mirrors, everything else. Talk to us. Go.
So Bonnie, the fun part of the prediction is as you pointed out, a lot of it is already true. There are
Mhm.
already sensors that surround us every single day. So let's say on body. I think that's when people think wearables, obviously in the word, they think on body. So your watches, Mark's patch, right? Or other devices that you can attach to your body in some way. And everybody thinks about, oh, I'm doing this technology so that I can be healthier, I can figure out my body somewhat better. But you pointed out the first easy example I was going to give, which was there are beds that are out there that are $5,000 or more,
You heard me.
or more. I don't have one, Bonnie. I'm really curious if yours is that measures temperature, can adjust the angle of the bed in the
Yep.
evening, can, to your point, heart rate, all these different things that it can sense. And that's just something you're lying on, right? We actually, and these sensors go back a long ways. We actually, this is 2 jobs ago, we were in a different lab and we were using the game cameras, just the little gaming cameras that come with your little gaming systems, and we were seeing what data and signals we could come off of that. And some of the game cameras were so sensitive, we could sense your heartbeat through your carotid artery here because it could see the fact
Yes.
that it was pumping. And so we could say, oh, we know how to react to that. So these sensors aren't just about what you wear, it's what's around us. And the funniest probably in there is the toilet, which there is a beta toilet. I'm not sure how much it costs, but it's going to be expensive, that uses observation of your waste matter. That'll just be polite. It's a polite
Yep.
show, Bonnie.
You're
So we're going to
yes,
be
it is,
polite.
dear.
Your
Yes, it
waste
is.
matter.
I like you even better now. Go ahead.
To start to understand what's coming out of your body, and think about all the tests and things you can understand
Yes.
by observing what's coming out of your body. So what I love about the moment we're in, Bonnie, is that we had all these wearables that were developed very popular over the last 10 years, right? You're the ring you can wear, the watch you can wear, the
Yes.
patches you can have, that were already such a leap forward, right? In what we can do. Mark's measuring hydration. My watch here can do a simplistic heartbeat, etc., right? We can do a simplistic ECG, EKG on yourself so that you can know different things. And that was already a remarkable step. But think about how much more sophisticated we can be now against the sensors that are already listening to us every day, watching us every day. And so we know, I know a couple of folks that are working on some of this, just even from the camera. So if they imagine a camera on one of your home devices observing you, looking at your movements and trying to judge from your movements if you have early onset something, right? Just from the motions and the tempo, your gait, and things that you would normally have to go into a doctor, a very sophisticated doctor, to help understand. This is the moment that we're in, where AI can take in that amount of data and understand the signals that come in from that amount of data, come up with the pattern, and then not. I think we're a little ways from fully diagnosing you, but then bring you to suggesting, hey, go talk to your doctor. Here are some interesting things that I'm observing.
Or
You
drink
could
more
think
water.
about the revolution in care.
Or drink more water. Question for you. I want to know about the mirror. It gives new meaning to the phrase from Snow White, was it? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? What would the mirror tell me? That I picked the wrong color lipstick? That they know this is blush and not my real rosy cheeks? What would it tell me? I don't think today we have enough time to get into the issue of privacy, because the question is, who gets the data? Where does it go? Who has access to it? Do you want people to know? Do you trust where it's going? What is the path? Is it secure? Is it an HTTPS website? Is it a secure SSL? So we want to know all of those things, but I'll probably have to have you all back for part 2, because we might, if you want to get into that, that's a whole other part. But what about the mirror? Jeff, do you have any insight?
Yeah,
Double entendre there about,
Yes.
What do you think?
No, Bonnie, it's really fascinating. It's so there's a simplistic thing, and I'll have fun with your analogy. Are you wearing the right makeup? It clearly can do all the easy things, like tell me about this outfit, tell me Judge's outfit, tell me things match in my color, et cetera, et cetera. But it can do more important medical things. Do you have a slouch or a thing? Are your shoulders even? Are you walking with an awkward and odd gait? Do you have a patch on your skin that, oh wait, we haven't seen that before? Is that a new mold? All the different things about your body and your body type your body image, your body movements, that a mirror, obviously all the mirrors now have cameras in them. So a mirror with, not all the smart mirrors have cameras in them.
Mhm.
They can observe all these things, right? That you would normally have to go see a dermatologist or your physical therapist or whatnot to say, oh, I'm seeing, your shoulder, your back, you're a little uneven. We need to work on that, or the mole on your skin that's new. And I think these are the incredible things that you can have in your home that can start to help you with your health care,
Interesting.
and it manage your health in a very different way, probably closer to what Mark's quote was.
Very interesting. Thank you. Let's go around the table briefly. Bob, any comments for Jeff?
I think it's great vision. I'm just blown away. Thank you, Jeff.
That's nice. Mark, anything you want to add briefly? Because I'm ready to go to Bob's predictions. But Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I love it too. Coming back to that expression, it's all the same, only the names change, and in the sense that people have talked about the Internet of Things, and Jeff's talking about the human being the thing, I suppose, and all the different sources of information centered around that. And tools have been around for a little while, but it's the AI that's trying to figure out what we can do with it now.
IOP, Internet of Person.
Yeah,
We've had all kinds of
I like
IO
it.
things. So, yeah, like that. Okay, I'm going to patent that afterwards. I want you all to witness that I came up with it first. Maybe. I seriously doubt it. Thank you very much. Let's go to Bob. I'm going to go to your prediction number 4, which I think is a synthesis of the other 3 you sent me. You say artificial intelligence will affect drug delivery and tissue engineering in situations where there are very large amounts of data to impact only those areas in the human body where the medicine should have an impact. And you're giving an example of LNPs designed with information unique to the disease, such
Mhm.
genes or the other information about the disease in the patient. So, in other words, targeted delivery. That would be a wow. Bob, is this real? Is it here? Is it something you're working on? Let's go with your prediction. Bob, I'm putting you on speaker view.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are working on it. We've worked on these things for a long time. Moderna, which I think was mentioned before, actually is actually that they are using these kinds of approaches already and are in advanced clinical trials for cancer. So the idea is that you could, get a lot of data with, in this case, nanoparticles that you could put in and really train the body's immune system to attack the cancer. So that's actually already been announced that in what are called phase 3 clinical trials for melanoma, it's a bad, terrible skin cancer, that kills people, that 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 vaccine has worked incredible in what's called the phase 2 clinical trial. That
Mhm.
ultimately, when you do clinical trials, you do what's called the phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So now they're in phase 3 clinical trials. So that kind of idea, I mean, we've used it, other people use it, and I think what it can do is it really can advance science so much, and you can do things just so much faster, and I hope that actually it will lead to cures for or much better treatments for cancer. I think for the kinds of things Mark's talked about, I think it could be very useful too for, not
Mhm.
only for sensing, but for, delivering different drugs through microneedles and so forth.
Mhm.
But what you do is you take enormous amounts of data and and you can move forward and do so much better than we ever could before. I think that's why those clinical trials are working so well.
Thank you very much. A lot of hope there. Is there any wearable that this would be used with, this drug delivery? Is this something where you would put on a specific patch or a special watch or something somewhere on your body and it would deliver? Is that something that we could think about maybe rather than having to see the needle? I said
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. I mean, in
Yeah.
fact, that is the one of the giant advantages of microneedles. And when you look at Mark showed you his, I mean, I think you saw it in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely, you can use microneedles. I mean, we've worked on them in our lab. Mark, I think, has an incredible design, and really the beauty of it is it doesn't hurt at all. You don't see it. In fact, one picture I sometimes show is, it looks like a Band-Aid. I mean,
Yep.
it's really like a Band-Aid.
Really?
And you can, yeah, I had I realized I would have brought a slide, but I mean, Mark probably has some on
Yep.
his work, but from ours, you just put it on and it will deliver. We're looking at delivering vaccines that way or
Hmm.
drugs that way. So what you said is totally right.
Interesting. The idea of targeting and not going everywhere. That's I'm a chemical phobe. I'll just say that. And I sense that everything's just going to go all over my body and create havoc. So I don't. I'm probably one of the only people you know who's had a root canal with no Novocaine. Okay? Because I talked
Ouch.
myself into not feeling it. It's just
Yeah.
3 seconds. It feels like someone put a fire in the back of your tooth, and 3 seconds it's gone, and I could walk out exhausted, but no drugs in my system. So that kind of thing would be helpful if it was just really targeted, and not all over the place. Mark, you raised your hand. I'm interrupting you. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm just so super excited by hearing what Bob had to say. I mean, the theme of today is the future of now, but Bob is so far ahead of so many people. Quite often, what we're hearing from him is the future of the future. Uh, but what excites me about this particular topic is it's putting two things together that by and large are kind of separate at the moment. So
Mhm.
sensors, wearables, like what we're talking about with Optimo, that's detecting, and Bob's been talking about delivery, and I've done some work in that space as well. But over the horizon, what's coming is the putting the two things together, and other things, of course. But so if let me think about and give you an example. So we talked a bit about hydration, and that's a
Mhm.
massive, massive problem. But there's other really important biomarkers as well that different technologies, including ours, are really going after. And one of them is troponin, which is the detection of a heart attack. Now,
Mhm.
uh, now, if you think about it, so say our sensor is picking up that you're having a heart attack. That's great news. It's before, well, it's not great news you're having it, but it's great that the sensor is
Yeah.
picking it up. So it allows, because ironically, the intervention can be as simple as taking an aspirin. So that's great. However, think about heart attacks or other things like that. Imagine if it's what we call the closed loop sensor. So what that means is it's not only detecting something, it's delivering. It's taking the intervention for delivering the thing at that moment in the right dose. And that's I think
Yes.
microneedles create a great portal for doing that in a minimally invasive way. And so I'll stop there, but I was just super excited about that topic that Bob raised.
Right place, right time, right? Jeff, anything you want to add before I go on?
No, but Bonnie, I was just reflecting on sort of the commentary. I mean, it is remarkable. We started the conversation with, oh, look at all these sensors, and look, it can tell you about all these things. Therefore, you can go somewhere and get help. And what
Mm.
we're just reflecting on now is, oh no, the wearable itself delivers the help, right? So think about all of the
Yes.
implications for what that means for the sort of how healthcare is done, how it can be helpful to you individually, how it can prevent, in Mark's example, a catastrophic moment outcome, but other things too, where it can deliver other maybe longer lasting things that it can, instead of saying, hey, take the pill in the morning and we're going to guess it's in your system at the right
Mhm.
amount for the day, the
Yep.
sophistication. I think Mark mentioned personalized medicine in your opening sort of theory, right? You know, there are probably better interventions, better ways to do drug delivery, better ways, not just the physical, right? A microneedle or soft
Mhm.
patch, but the idea of what it is doing in your body, how long it's in your body, when you want to take it out of your body, those types of things that maybe it's the future of the future, but it feels like between all the work, frankly, done with my other panelists on the around the table here, it feels like it's not incredibly far away. That it is something that in our lifetimes we'll take the benefit from. Think about how that changes science and how we
It
do
does.
research.
Think about how that changes how we feel about our bodies and our health, how we feel about going places and being maybe not near a doctor or not near a telephone, but
Hmm.
having some kind of access to something that will gather the data and perhaps even report it or take action in our bodies. Bob, anything you want to add to that? Your prediction, and it was great. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I really agree with that. I think you could look at the kind of system that Mark's developing, which is, like I say, it's kind of like a Band-Aid. And the Band-Aid could have two components, right? It could have a sensing component and a delivery component.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, and particularly if a patient is at risk for a certain disease, I think it becomes very, very important.
Think about elder care, where somebody would if an older relative would agree to this, and the family would agree to it, and the doctor could provide it. Think of that as almost having somebody there with them if they were going to be taken care of through a wearable. Bob, is that something you see?
I see you're doing great. I mean, so you're making wonderful predictions as well. So I agree with you.
Thank you very much. I'm just here to be the good kid, to make everybody happy. Okay, I thank you. I want to go to. We have 10 more minutes. I want to see if we can squeeze in a couple more, but I have a really fun prediction from Jeff, and I want to go here. Jeff says, with all the sensors and AI, health tech will be able to recommend food and drinks to eat as a reaction to how your body is performing. This has something to do with Mark and the hydration, but think of all the things we can do as we fully understand the body and the risks. We can recommend improvements to all sorts of deficiencies and use food and drink as the fuel and the supplements to improve your physical and mental performance. Let's focus on the mental performance,
Oh
Jeff.
yeah.
What is this all about, this prediction? Go.
Bonnie, it's interesting. We've been a lot of the description of you as how you think about healthcare, doctors, et cetera, is something bad happens and now I need to fix it.
Yep.
Right. And even in the examples we're giving, there's a catastrophic event starting to happen in my body. How do I stop it? How do I reverse it? This is the flip side of that, right? How do you use all the sensors around you and the things you can wear, et cetera, to optimize performance?
Mm.
Right. So everything from funny, I'll just bring up the toilet again, like sort of observing what's going on there. So how can it say, take those output of your body and say, hey, what do I know about what you're eating or how your body's processing something for the future? And I was just noting, I was talking to some other doctors one time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not really sure what the impact of the food you eat on your individual body is, right? We're guessing, right? So we know you probably shouldn't eat fried foods all the time. You generally should eat more vegetables, etc. But how it impacts you individually, it's very hard for us. There's a wide swing of that. And so when you think about optimal performance, like the athletes that are out there and they have all these sensors and they're trying to eat the right thing to get the right output out of their body, well, for guys like I think all four, or for folks like all four of us on this call, we probably make our money from our brain performance, right? And so how
Yep.
do we understand brain performance and so that we are at our best right now on this video with you, Bonnie, right? How do we
Mm-hmm.
make sure we are number one? What do we need to do or eat to get that correct? Maybe, as Mark would say,
Mm.
drink water, right? Like, so make sure you're
Right.
hydrated. But what
Yep.
else should we be
Gotta have
doing?
another sip.
What should we do so we are peaking at the right moments of time inside of our day so we can be the best version of ourselves? If you're teaching a class, Bob, in the classroom right at that moment, if you are developing a new scientific theory, Mark, or inventing the next sort of part of manufacturing, how do you know that those 3 hours are going to be great and productive with all these sense? I think there's an
That's
amazing
great.
positive aspect
That
of
is
what we can change.
fascinating. You mean I can tell my guests I want you to have a small piece of chocolate Dove bar before you come on the show because I think it'll boost your adrenaline and your excitement and get your heart rate going and the hell with the sugar and you can do your glucose monitor later. I don't know. That is fascinating, Jeff. Bob, any thoughts about that? About delivery for mental and acuity performance? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. We've worked on that too. I have another company that
Yeah.
Vitaki that's doing things like that. But just to make it simple, I mean, obvious, in a way, I mean, Jeff's point is exactly right. I mean, one way, of course, that people do it is with coffee, right, or caffeine.
Yep.
So that's a simple one.
Yep.
But his comment is really much broader. I mean, because you could think of many ways of helping people. Actually, Vitaki, which I mentioned, they're doing stuff with the military for exactly the reasons that he said, is developing, better delivery systems and things like that for different purposes, energy, and because sometimes people are out in the field for, 36 hours or longer. So it's really a big deal. So I think there's so many ways that what
Mhm.
Jeff's saying is exactly right.
Very exciting. I want to squeak in one more prediction here. We've just got about 6 minutes left, and you're going to talk really short time, Mark Kendall, if you can.
Okay.
Number four, you said, I want to know what this means. You say AI will provide us more field hopping opportunities for solutions at scale we have never had before. Briefly, 2 minutes. Mark, what is this? What's field hopping?
So field hopping is you see something in a completely different field and then bring it into this other field and has an amazing impact. And it turns out that's kind of what I've been doing for the last few decades. Take a rocket, put it into vaccines. Not a lot of people do that, as one example. So it kind of takes a little bit of wiring in someone's brain that's a little bit unusual to do that. But of course, an AI on top of that amplifies all of that. So it will see, it should be, once it gets to a certain level, it's probably there already for all I know, it'll be able to make some of those connections that we just don't see as humans. So that's what I mean by that.
Very interesting. Jeff is watching all my reactions. Jeff, I want a Jeff patch so you can monitor my emotional well-being all day long. And by the way, as far as eating things for better performance, I eat things that make me happy as well as sort of healthy. But if I know I need an emotional boost at the end of the day, I might have that piece of chocolate, or I might have hot chocolate with a little bit of fresh whipped cream in it, or I might have that toasted buttermilk English muffin with cream cheese and a little bit of peanut butter or jelly or something like that, just to make me happy. And that happiness fuels my well-being. It might not lose weight, but Mark, you want to say something? Go.
Oh, just a quick one on that. So the elite performance side of it. So
Yeah.
just as one example, one of our investors is a former Formula One champion, Mark Webber, and he's Oscar Piastri's manager. Oscar's with McLaren right now. But uh, if you're only 3% dehydrated, it's equivalent of being over the blood alcohol limit, being drunk, right?
Wow.
So sometimes you do want to be drunk, but not perhaps when you're lecturing. I think, but also not, but also when you're not driving the car.
I swear it's
And
water. I never judge when guests hold up. Bob, I know you're drinking from a soda can, but we really don't know. But this is water. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
indeed, so that's just illustrating Jeff's point just a little bit further.
Okay, we have 3 minutes left, and what I want to do is give you each about 45 seconds. I know that's impossible because you're all such good speakers, but and so enthusiastic, and I really appreciate the energy you brought to the show today. It's just wonderful. Jeff, I want to package that smile. I want to put it on a postage stamp. I want to send it around the world and everybody just be happy like Jeff. Okay, I want to ask you, I'm going to go in reverse order. Bob and then Jeff and then Mark. Quickly, 30 seconds, I'll make it. What would be your favorite new wearable if you could invent it today that the world would benefit from using AI? Bob, is there anything? I know you're working on 5,000 patents right now, but is there something you would love to see, Bob?
Yeah, well, actually, what I'd love to see is take what Mark's doing, which I think is great, and have a system that can, detect all the things that we need to know in our body, and then deliver all the things that will make us feel great and
Thank you.
make us healthy.
Feel great. I like he said that before healthy. Everybody noticed that. You're on record. You're recorded. Okay. Jeff, what would you love to see AI help us with in terms of a wearable, some kind of deliverable? Quick.
No, I think that a lot of the things I want to know are there. Like, I want to measure my heart. I want to measure my glucose. I want to measure, Mark's telling us, measure our hydration. I want to have all these things be measured on my body, but sorry, I'm smarting, Mark. It's still your comment. I don't want a half-inch needle in my body, right? Just constantly there. So I want to be able to do it at like the back of my watch, right? Something that's sort of like just there. Bob, you said Band-Aid. I want the
Yeah.
Band-Aid
I want a pretty
version of this.
Band-Aid, maybe a red one or a black one. Mark, 30 seconds. Go real fast.
That pretty band-aid that just does not just the things we talked about, but a whole bunch of different things, what they call multimodal sensing, and then over the horizon, doing something about it there on the spot and delivering.
Thank you. Would you all like to come back? Can I make a prediction that you'll come back for part 2 and join me again?
Oh yeah, the
Definitely.
sequel. Yeah,
Maybe. Good. I've got a slot open in late November, just before Thanksgiving. I'll offer it to you after we get off. I always used to close the show with saying, everybody say, no, no, no. The future is already here. People say, and our answer is no, no, no. But I'm going to do that because I don't want to make you do the work. The future is already here. And we say, no, 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 because the future of now hasn't happened yet. When I said that sentence, I was thinking about it. It was the future, and now it's gone, right, Jeff? I want everybody to listen up. I have some closing music here. Don't go away. We'll talk afterwards. Let's see if we can get this to play. Go ahead.
Are you tired of hearing the future is already here?
Listen to
We are
this.
too. That may have been yesterday's future, but today's future hasn't happened yet. Take a deep breath, tune out the hype, the noise, and turn up the volume.
Wow,
Savvy,
listen.
art of the possible technology visionaries talking about how today's
Wait for it.
innovations
Wait for
right
it.
now
Here we
are
go.
shaping every aspect
Every
of
aspect.
our real future.
Here we go.
We'll laser focus our spotlight on buzzworthy tech like artificial
Yes.
intelligence, machine learning,
Yes.
Internet of Things,
Yes.
augmented reality,
Yes.
and lots more.
Lots more.
Clear your calendar and open your mind for Technology Revolution, the future of now. With the most upbeat host on global radio, Bonnie D. Graham. Listen anywhere, anytime, on any device.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Jordan Henson, my engineer, getting us on the Voice America Media Business Channel. Goodbye to LinkedIn. Goodbye to Facebook. Goodbye.